Good evening, Britannia, and hello to the rest of the world. Welcome back to 2C TV. Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, has done it again. More tyranny, more authoritarianism, and more anti-English hate from this Labour Mayor. In this video, I'm going to give you guys the latest update on what's happening, the latest decision from the Mayor of London to ban the England flag when it comes to the Transport for London, specifically drivers who drive the taxis or the black cabs in London. Let's get on with the show. Alright, first thing says, massive thank you to every single person who's been supporting the channel. We've now reached 536,000 subscribers. If you are new to the channel, obviously if you enjoy the content, feel free to subscribe. Let's talk about Sadiq Khan, or as I call him, Sadiq Khan. The Mayor of London, who has been re-elected just because people in London decided to not bother to come out to vote a couple of months ago. This is what happens when you don't come out to vote. He didn't win the election because he had the majority of Londoners giving him consent. He didn't win because he got more than 50% of the vote. Nope. Turnout was low, and out of that turnout, he had 30-40% of the vote, which was still less than 50%, and he managed to just about win because people didn't bother to come out to vote. Now we have to deal with this mess. During this Euro tournament, in every normal European country, we have people proudly flying their flags. In fact, they are being encouraged to do so. When you go to countries like Italy, like Croatia, even France, yes, even France, they are flying the flags everywhere. It used to be a tradition in this country as well. And it's not really a new thing. It's been going on for about 20 years, 15 years, 20 years since we stopped flying the flag. Now, there were a number of excuses. Some people said, well, the England flag was hijacked by the EDL. We can't really fly that. That was an excuse. Then they said, well, the England team became weak. That's not a good excuse because almost all the Euro teams right now in this tournament are terrible. It's a boring tournament, by the way. And they're all terrible, but they still proudly fly the flag. It's because the establishment, our political establishment, our cultural establishment have been undermining our country and the identity of the English. This is the problem. Now they've taken it to a whole new level. Now we have Sadiq Khan banning the flag, actually banning it. The excuse is, if there is that little tiny flag on top of a car, it's a distraction. That's a distraction. But if you have all the BLM and rainbow signs and logos and pro-EU, anti-Brexit stuff, EU stuff, no, that's fine. That's not a distraction, but the England flag is a distraction for other drivers. Also, for those who are familiar with London, when you drive around London, the whole city is a massive distraction. You just look around, things are happening all at once. A tiny flag is not really even that visible anyway. So my message to all the black cab drivers in London is defy, resist it while you can. Every single person must be flying the England flag if you are driving. If you have the car, put it up. They cannot arrest all of us. That's the whole point. Stand up for our values and the English identity as well. Now, of course, the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage, has come out to also slam Sadiq Khan, obviously. He's come out to basically directly say, Sadiq Khan really hates England. Now, this is also what people want to hear from politicians. If you ask Rishi Sunak what he thinks about this, now, he knows he has to criticize Sadiq Khan, especially during the election. But I can assure you, Rishi Sunak's response would be, firstly, he hasn't said anything anyway. Interesting. He would say, well, I am Rishi Sunak, and I personally am very proud of this country. I personally would fly the flag. He would not say what Nigel said. That Sadiq Khan really hates England. And he does. He's proven it so many times. We know that. We had the D-Day anniversary. Nothing to focus on that. We had the LGBT flags instead, the pride flags. You know, we had the troop in the colour the other day. Nothing done by the Mayor of London. We had Easter a few months ago. Nothing was done about that. They focused on Ramadan. Sadiq Khan only represents one demographic in this city and one set of ideology. Transport for London has come out. This is the regulations that they have. Obviously, TfL, Transport for London, is controlled by Sadiq Khan, the mayor. Breaches of regulations could lead to a formal sanction, such as a warning, fixed penalty notice, prosecution, or license review. If you put a tiny, tiny England flag on the car, you could be prosecuted. You could get a fixed penalty notice, or you could lose your license. That's the priority for the Mayor of London. While actual criminals are still running around committing crime. But no. Imagine if somehow drivers decided to all fly the Palestinian flag. The Mayor of London would have no problem with that. In fact, he would say, you shouldn't really criticize them because, they're the minorities and everyone should be respected. Everybody should be they're protected by our laws. One-sided. Now, a spokesperson for TfL has also come out to say, for the safety of all passengers and drivers, a tiny flag on top of a car, safety. We have guidelines about what can be displayed in or on taxis and private hire vehicles as well. So it's not just black caps. Only official signs and stickers can be displayed. I can confirm that the England flag is official. Any other signage or flags are not permitted because they could cause a distraction to other drivers and other road users. Again, we had a few Uber drivers a couple of years ago going around with the BLM flags. Nobody did anything about that. Every year in June, we have the rainbow flags. Some of the Uber drivers fly that. Nobody has a problem with that. We've already had Palestinian flags on cars all over London. Nobody has a problem with that apparently in the establishment. The England flag will put the safety of passengers and drivers at risk. A tiny flag on top of the car, not covering the view, not covering the windows or anything like that, or the mirrors. In or on the car, by the way. That's what they're saying. Doesn't matter where you put it. That's what Sadiq Khan is doing to this city. The heart of the British Empire used to be. Let's see what you guys are saying. First super chat of the night to the Tower. Thank you so much. Saying 5-ish seats in Parliament should be for expats. We can't vote anywhere and we all love our countries. It's a tricky situation. And a super chat from Barbara Davies. Thank you, Barbara. Saying, I bet he goes straight for the license. Everyone should wear an England hat. Then will he ban all the... Yes, all the headgear will be banned as well. This is the same Mayor of London who's in charge of policing in London, right? And when the Metropolitan Police came, the beginning of the Palestinian so-called protests, they said, you shouldn't cover your face with face nappies because we want to be able to identify you. Since then, they continue to wear it and the police can't do anything about it because there is no urgency from Mark Rowley, the commissioner, or Sadiq Khan. That's safety. That's national security concerns. If you can't identify those who are being anti-Semitic on the streets of London, I think that's a bigger problem than a tiny England flag on top of a car. Brian says, well done, mate. Won't be long till you get 1 million. Most powerful news channel in the UK. Oh, you mean subscribers. Thank you very much, Brian, for the support. And Sue Harrison says, is it something called equal rights? And what does the royal family think of this? It is racist against England. This is the problem we have. So the constitution of this country is based on the crown. The role of the crown is not to get involved with party politics. It is above party politics, which is good, which means if politicians become tyrannic, then the job of the crown is to protect us from that. But that also means they also have a different role. The crown, and it's not about the royal family. There's a difference between being a royalist and being a monarchist. It doesn't really matter what you think of King Charles. It's the role of the crown. It's the crown that matters, not even the king himself. It's also to represent and protect the identity of the country and promote it. If a mayor or prime minister undermines the flag or disrespects it, it's the job of the crown on behalf of the public to stand up to these people. In France, the president does it. The president, and Macron did it a couple of months ago. He literally forced, a few months ago, he said, we are going to make it mandatory to fly the French flag in schools and everywhere. Even Macron, because he's under pressure to be patriotic, of course, because the rest of the population in France, even if they're liberal, they're still patriotic, they still love the flag. We need more assertive authority here. Peter Fawn says, you get what you wish for. Maybe next time Londoners will actually stop and think for half a second, if they can do that, before voting next time. Or voting. They're not even voting. They stayed at home. That's the whole problem. That's how he got elected. They didn't vote for him. There were just not enough people to vote against him because they all stayed at home. That's what happens. Then now you can't complain about it if you didn't vote against him. Streets UK says they use this excuse in the Midlands and North for years. Nothing new, but new to London. But the thing is, until now, I think even people like Sadiq weren't brave enough to actually do it. Because if you do something in London like this, it becomes more public. It becomes more compared to if you do something in the North. Unfortunately, by the way. But now they feel brave. Now they feel confident to undermine the culture, to undermine the identity and the flag. Nobody's there to stop them. They feel nobody's there to stop them. But they're in for a shock. The wave of a democratic nationalist populism across all our countries, whether it's the Canadian Conservatives with Poilievre, whether it's with the Trump movement in America, whether it's with Marine Le Pen, whether it's with Farage, and the Farage movement is a new movement. It's a new party anyway, and he's only just come back. So don't expect Farage and Reform to get a majority, but it's the movement. It's the start of the movement. And eventually, as we can see, the tide is turning. Young people are coming out to show support to Nigel Farage and Reform UK, a right-wing party. That's not normal, right? Same thing is happening for Trump. Same thing is happening for Le Pen. Same thing happened for Javier Milei in Argentina. Everybody was shocked. The tide is turning. We just have to be more robust about it. John says, Londoners, be ashamed and reap what you sow for not voting this racist bastard out when you had the chance. John is right. Bye-bye Labour. We have enough of your betrayals. We wave our red, white, blue flag with respect, pride, and always will be. Thank you so much. JD says, if they remove the identity of our country and others, the march towards globalism, of course. I mean, there will always be a backlash. Humans, whether you like it or not, we are all by nature tribal. And it's too soon to, in a very clinical way, forceful way, to instantly turn this whole planet into some sort of Star Trek fantasy world where there are no flags or borders, you just have one president of the world. It doesn't work. Now, gradual progress of humanity and the evolution of it is the world is getting smaller. We're becoming slowly more similar. Not all of us, but slowly. Compared to the 19th century, compared to 18th century, Western Europeans, the North Americans, becoming similar. I mean, that's just the nature of the world. It's a globalized world. But if you push for it, people will fight back. Because it's not really just about Londoners or people in Paris or New York. Yes, these people are internationalists. They're used to it. They're like, yeah, bring in everybody. I don't care. But let's not forget, you still have the villages. You still have the small towns. Middle England, Middle America. Those guys are going to fight back. Those guys are going to say, I didn't consent. I did not give consent to this globalism. Lauren says, the police will not do anything about the national security threat of the face snappies. I know. But if you fly the England flag on top of your car, well, that's a problem. You will either be prosecuted, you get a fixed penalty notice. What was the others? You could lose your license. What was the list? Yeah, lose your license, prosecuted, fixed penalty notice, or a warning as well. But my message is, those who are watching, who are drivers, who have taxis, fly it. Put it up. Even if you don't like Gareth Southgate, doesn't matter. Put it up. If everybody does it all at the same time, tomorrow, if every car is flying the England flag, the police will not do anything about it. They cannot arrest everybody. But everyone has to be in it together. Show unity. Ian says, Maya, hire a cab and wave the flag out the window around London and stream it. Actually, not a bad idea. I shall do it. If I remember, I need to put it on my phone. Got bad memory. Richard says, this is the taste of what you will get under Keir Starmer's Labour government, people. You have been warned. That's a very good point. Don't say you haven't been warned. Joseph says, Sadiq Khan must be made to pack bag and baggage immediately by revoking his citizenship right now. The thing is, I will be just happy enough to just oust him. That will be a good start anyway. But it's not really even just about Sadiq Khan. It's not really just about one person. It's not like removing Sadiq Khan is going to fix the problem. There's a poison inside the whole society right now, inside the establishment, from the cultural institutions to the political establishment. That needs to be fixed. Removing individuals is a plaster as a solution. For example, it's like removing Nicola Sturgeon as First Minister of Scotland. Everybody was happy, right? That was a plaster. Because after her, another nutter will come in, like Humza Useless. In Wales, you had Mark Drakeford, the First Minister, resigning. Everybody celebrated. Then you had Gethin coming in. Another nutter. Also resigning eventually. So the whole thing is kicking off anyway. They're all being exposed left, right and centre. Mike says, thank you for the super chat, Mike. The other evening, I saw a man waving a Hungarian flag out the window. It was just after Scotland was sent home. That's okay, apparently. In the UK, you can fly all the European flags, even during Euros. It's just specifically the England flag. That's just a big problem, apparently. The Mayor of London, representing London, the capital of the country. The Pagan Viking, thank you for the super chat, saying this small man syndrome problem he has, is getting worse. He hates the British people. As we said, this is exactly what Nigel said on X. Khan really hates England. Simple. But where are the others? Where is the same level of outrage from Rishi Sunak, for example? And actually, even Keir Starmer, because Keir Starmer wants you to think that he's patriotic. Although, recently, during an interview, he said he is quietly patriotic. I mean, quietly. So he's ashamed of it. Secondly, he didn't actually say patriotic towards what country. He never clarified that. Well, thank you for your super chat, saying the Khan banning England flag for the taxes required his portrait on Lural was done with Conmoran and could be a great addition to the merch store. That's actually not a bad idea. I'll add it as an idea as well. To the Towers back, saying how many people know all verses of the anthem. That's the other issue. So as I said, the French who mandated the flag, they also did it with the national anthem. But if you even talk about the idea of, for example, having school kids in schools singing the national anthem, the political left and the liberal side, both of them will come out and say, this is fascism, this is ultra-nationalism, this is 1930s Italy. In all normal countries, they do the national anthem. Even the relatively normal liberal Americans still do it. In Israel, in Tel Aviv, the liberal Israelis in Tel Aviv, they still love the flag and the national anthem. It doesn't matter if you're conservative or liberal. It's your country, it's your anthem, it's your flag. Know the verses and be proud of it. Not here. This is getting ridiculous now. Down with bloody Khan. Khan! Countryside folks are lucky they don't have to deal with this disgusting guy for now. Because the virus that I'm talking about and multiculturalism and mass migration eventually is going to get so big that we're already seeing it. It's getting out to cities. I said this so many times. When 10, 15 years ago, the liberals and the media were complaining, saying, why is it that people in England, in small villages and towns are complaining about migration? They don't have any migrants there. Because they could see what was happening. Now you go to small towns and villages, massive level of migration going up. With lack of housing and infrastructure and the NHS clinics and schools. And this is just the beginning. Tour again says, we've seen through the mirage and want Farage. That's actually not about slogan. Thank you, Nathan from Israel. Thank you for the super chat. And Trooper Bear, one of our regulars, saying, wear or fly a Knights Templar flag. Do it. Another one saying, I thank you very much for supporting my country. I really hope you get to meet your father soon. Thank you so much for the comment. Obviously, priority is to make sure that the UK at least is protected. The fight back must happen, because if it's not safe for me or others or the rest of you guys watching, it's going to happen everywhere else. France, Germany, Sweden, for now Israel is safe, but Israel has other problems. It has external problems, but this problem could get everywhere. And Super Chat saying, you think that Asian migrants are a problem? Nope, I don't. I don't know what you're talking about, but no. It's not even about the categories. It's simply about cultural class and those who are not compatible and those who refuse to be compatible. And those who come from ideologies that says not only you should integrate, you should change the new country. You should plant the flag of Islam on top of Downing Street and Buckingham Palace. And they say it proudly. That is my problem. If you respect the values, it's fine. Another super chat, as friend Roy saying, let's all place the English flag on our cars. Exactly, do it. Not just cars, actually, windows, doors, porches, balcony, whatever. I'm Portuguese and I love England. See, if you have Europeans defending your country, and I'm not talking to you guys directly, I'm projecting, I'm just talking to anybody else randomly watching this, be ashamed. Every single person in England right now must do something. I got my massive flag and I'm going to take it tomorrow. I'm going to go to a taxi, I'm going to fly it from the window, see if I'm going to get arrested. Or maybe actually I might get the taxi driver arrested. It's okay, I will take responsibility. Short and Narrow says, black caps are iconic for London. The ban makes no sense, but a clear message of hating the country. Yes. Do you think we need patriotic leaders or just leaders who likes the country enough? Well, the latter has become the problem, because since Tony Blair, we have been giving leaders that basically like the country enough. That's what they said. David Cameron, Blair, Gordon Brown, They were never proud patriots, but they said we like the country enough. I mean, they didn't say using those words, but that was the implication. It's not good enough. We need nationalist leaders to come and defend the country, the borders, the culture for everybody who's here. I said this on St. George's Day at the rally. It's the job of people like me and other people who are ethnically foreign or new generation, first generation migrants. It's our job, more than the English natives, to stand up and defend this country and the values and the identity, respect the identity as well. Of course, it's also the job of the natives, but more than them, it's the job of the foreigners and the migrants and the guests to fight. This is your family, this is your home as well. Otherwise, feel free to leave. No one's forcing you to stay. We need to have policies that makes it intolerable for those who do not respect this country. That includes people who are born here. I do not care whether you're born here or not. You have to respect the country because this is your home. It's not rocket science. We got people from Portugal defending England. It's embarrassing. Lynn Superchat, thank you, saying my England flags are flying proudly outside my house and it's staying there. In fact, I can defend Londoners, certain type of Londoners. For example, in Bermondsey, in South London, there is a estate. Let me show you what they're doing there. Every tournament, every Euro and the World Cup and everything that happens, this is what the state turns into, because this is one of the few areas in London that is still proper old Londoners. They're still there. Look at this. If I could bring it on the screen. There we go. Look at this. They are proud. And of course, the Liberals hate it. Look at this. This is what you need. Everywhere. England flags. Be proud. And that's in London, near Bermondsey, near London Bridge, those who aren't familiar. Because these are the areas that still, despite multiculturalism, the old London natives are still there and they're still protecting it. Diane says, remember, eat your vegetables. Do not vote them in office like Mr. Potato Head Biden here in the US. Thank you, Diane from America. Yiddish Jim is saying, have a good week. Oh, thank you very much. All the lovely Christians and Jews and everybody who respects life and freedom. I live in Surrey, one of the whitest counties, for now. And I was once the only brown boy in the entire school. And now I see the younger years diverse as hell. I know, right? But it's not... The problem wasn't really about skin color because back in the day, so about 25 years ago when I was younger, times fly, secondary school in Lewisham, because I grew up in Lewisham on a council estate, I went to a comprehensive school, and in Lewisham, in Lee Green, even then, in early 2000s, the area and the school, it was primarily black students, and there were a few white students, and there's like one or two random, like, obviously you had me, you had like one or two from, I don't know, Bangladesh, there was one or two from China, that's it. Primarily black. But nobody, me, the other white kids, the other brown kids or whatever, nobody saw the black British students and kids as foreigners. Because back then, skin color didn't matter. Because firstly, immigration was gradual anyway, so most of them were second, third generation. And they were more British than the rest of them. Now, that area is more diverse. So actually, it's become slightly more white and middle class. But other multicultural stuff happened. So multiracialism is different to multiculturalism. So back then, it was very multiracial. Everybody was fine. White and black, everybody was British. Now we have a lot of different people coming in all at once. For example, a lot of people from Pakistan, the Islamic community coming up. And you can see, you can feel that it's now divided. You can feel the diversity in a bad way. Now you look around, even though there are more white people there now, back then there were more black people there, but actually, even the white people, a lot of them are basically so like wishy-washy, soy boy, liberal middle classes, like champagne socialists, avocado coffee drinkers, that even when it's the white people, you don't feel that they're British. This is the biggest problem now. Lewisham, Deptford, Penn. It was in Lee. I grew up in Lee Green. It's south of Blackheath in Lewisham, just on the border with Greenwich. That's where we were. Well, by the way, we are working on our upcoming documentary, obviously, for 2CTV Plus, in case you don't know. Our first exclusive documentary, Britain's Multiculturalism Myth, which we are finally finishing the filming and everything this coming weekend. So, which means on 2CTV Plus, this is going to go up very soon. The reason I mentioned this is because during the documentary, it's about multiculturalism, obviously. There's a section where we talk about me, obviously. And I basically take you guys back to where I grew up in Lewisham, the council estate, and how much it's changed, and the school and everything else. So hopefully you guys will look forward to that and watch that when it comes out. And obviously you have to go on 2c.tv and sign up to 2CTV Plus. And obviously we're also adding the new shows from this week onwards. It's going to be beautiful. I'll explain more. All right. Concept Dawn says, I have a business idea. Let's get Kirk in to deal with the situation. It could turn into a real enterprise. Yeah, get Kirk to deal with Khan. Kosh Jindal says, I am sorry for Indian illegal. So, well, technically, Sadiq Khan is Pakistani, not Indian. So Indians, you're fine. The Indians usually, British Indians usually integrate easily anyway. Barbara says, this is to buy the flag for the taxi. Love this idea. Oh, now I have to do it now. See, Barbara sent a super chat. Now I'm going to have to do the flag idea. Thank you, Ms. Davis. I shall do it. Libel says, Britanized German here. I love the UK. See, we got Portuguese, we got Germans, we got everybody, we got Americans. These people are more concerned about Britain than the rest of these liberal, white, middle-class socialist idiots. And they are technically English British. It's so embarrassing. And for those watching from the US, you guys will understand what's happening right now. Because the same is happening in California and in New York, although primarily in California, and then of course near Seattle as well. But here, it's much smaller than the US, obviously. So the UK is basically like one state. So when something changes, the whole of the country changes. Now, of course, we still have those nice small towns and villages in Middle England, in Lincolnshire, everywhere else. But for now, unless people stand up. Damn it, how can we get people off the mainstream media and wake up? It's already slowly happening because they don't even know how to keep up to date with the new model of how viewers and consumers want to get their news. They don't understand how we do things on 2CTV. They are confused. That's why they all try to cancel me. They don't understand how I can sit here for half an hour, give you guys the facts, and just talk to you guys, interact with you guys for half an hour and get thousands and thousands of watching it while they struggle throughout the whole day. They will be happy when they get 20,000, 30,000 views on TV. They will celebrate if you get 50,000 views. It's embarrassing. The Pagan Viking says, I fly to St. George's and the Union Jack at 12 months a year. If no one likes it, then tough shit. Good Viking. Good Pagan Viking. AFC Man UK, one of our regulars, saying we do need to get the people off the mainstream media, newspapers. We need a 2CTV magazine, monthly or something, to spread the word further. That's probably not a bad idea because I believe I was talking to Carl Benjamin. I think he was announcing some sort of Lotus Eaters magazine. I think he was going to do something with that. It's probably not a bad shout, but obviously we've just started this project to expand the channel with your help, obviously, when it comes to 2CTV Plus and everything else. And obviously that's had ups and downs over the last couple of months, but it's actually going well. We have decided to revamp the whole channel, the whole platform, and got feedback about the existing shows. We've been working on the new shows, and from this week onwards, we're going to introduce a new format so that 2CTV Plus could be a library of entertaining, but also actually informative and educational content, short documentaries, short series on topics that you can actually firstly watch 2 years from now, 5 years from now, but also you could actually show others, and hopefully it will help you learn some things if you go to a pub and have a debate with some sort of liberal lefty, if they even go to pubs these days. But after this 2CTV Plus platform, obviously there'll breaking news, live streams on YouTube in terms of news. It's always here. But we do need your support when it comes to 2CTV Plus. If you want us to actually help lead this new media revolution, I know it's tough for many people in terms of cost of living crisis, but it's only £5 if you want to join us, support us. But it's not really donation because you will get something in return. You're investing in this new media revolution. And of course, going forward, we could do much more. We could actually maybe even do newspapers or magazines, or maybe obviously the modern version, digital version of it as well. Because I think a lot of people want to completely destroy the legacy media and press. And the only way to do it is if we all stick together. Anyway, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I'm going to go watch the Italy and Croatia game now. Take a quick break, and if anything big happens, we will shortly come back live on 2CTV. And as I said, feel free to check out 2C.tv, subscribe to 2CTV Plus as well. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.